Welcome to Snaps Australia. Today I'm going to show you how to apply plastic snaps with each of our professional presses. To start with, this is one of our portable presses. It's called the stand-up press. When you receive your press, it won't have any dies in it. You will need a die set to apply the fasteners that you're wanting to apply. So first up, I'm going to show you how to use our no change dies. They're a two-piece die set. The cap die is placed inside the bottom die hole of the press, and then the top die simply screws in place. Now here we have the socket and the stud for a set of snaps. First up, the socket, which is the female piece. Going to place your cap piece through the fabric, and then on top of that, the socket. Now the cap is perfectly sized to fit this bottom die dimple. Place that on top, balance the socket on top of the cap, and then make sure it's centered and push down. You do want to make sure that the die has a bulge in the rubber. That will ensure that your fastener is so that the cap die is squashed sufficiently to correctly place the snap. Swapping over with the stud piece, place the cap prong inside the hole again, balancing the stud on top inside the cap's dimple, and push down firmly. And there we have a completed snap. Now for the other portable press, which is the handheld press, it's the same process. You place the cap die in the bottom hole, and again the top die screws in place. With this press, instead of pushing down on the handle, you simply squeeze together. I'll show you quickly in practice. For the DK93 table press, you do have two choices in the dies that you can use to apply plastic snaps. There is the Pro or the professional die set, or there's the no change die. The professional die set is slightly different in that you do need to change over each of the socket or the stud dies when you change between each piece. So as you can see here, this is our socket die. It's made specifically for the socket piece. We'll hold it in place. The benefit of that is that it gives you more precision when you push down on the handle of the press, unlike the no change die where you needed to balance that piece in place. With this, it will hold it for you, so it is more precise. So screw that die in place. That die. Placing your cap through the fabric. Pop it into the dimple of the die, and then you push down on the press. You can see as I'm pushing down, I don't need to balance any of the, not balancing that socket die on top. It's sitting snugly in the die set itself, the die piece itself. Squash down firmly, and the snap is placed. Now to apply the stud piece, I will need to remove the socket die and replace it with the stud die. As you can see, the stud piece also fits snugly into the die. Inside the fabric, into the dimple, and pushing down. And again, you have a completed snap. Now, if I would like to use the no change die on this particular press, I can continue to use that bottom cap die, or I can use the cap die from that no change set. Say for example, I haven't purchased the professional die. The bottom die for the no change die, however, has a smaller shank, which allows it to fit those other portable presses. So when I come to put it in the press, you'll see that it's too small, it's not going to fit. And that's where we have what's called an adapter base. So to use our no change die set on this DK93 press machine, you will also need the adapter base. Pop that in place, and it will then accommodate that smaller shank size for that die piece. Then placing the top die in the press. Again, I'm ready to apply my snaps. And as you'll see this time, balance the socket piece on top, holding it over the die, the cap die, carefully keeping it in place while I center the top die and push down. And then this time, if I want to apply the stud, there's no need to change over that top die. Simply position the snap and press down. And again, another completed snap. Now, if you wanted to apply rivets, grommets, metal snaps, any of our other fasteners, they have dies with a similar or with the same size shank as this no change bottom die piece. So to use those dies on this press, you will need that adapter base. It's used for any of our other die sets.